Camp.
Okay.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Our Friday relationship flow, sip and chat, friends and family. We got Doc and I with some
Hey,
people gonna straggle in, hopefully. How you doing, Doc?
I'm good. I'm good. A little tired today, but all right. All right.
Okay. All right. I can relate to a little tired. I think you said, was it jet lag? I could take a 6-day jet lag moment. I'm like, okay, I need to get back to the views I had last week. This cold, I got a sweatshirt on because I'm cold.
Mm-hmm.
All of this stuff. This is special. So, what you sipping on?
I am sipping on some Merlot tonight.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
Merlot.
Yes. Little mildness tonight.
Okay, all right.
What
I
you
got.
got?
My favorite is my cousin 1800, but
Mmm.
it's with some lemonade. I
Okay.
usually don't mix it, so it's with some
Okay.
lemonade. Some
Coconut?
Chick-fil-A. Yes, it's definitely coconut.
Coconut. Okay.
Definitely coconut. And it's
Yes.
Chick-fil-A lemonade. So, it got a little spice going on to it.
Okay. Hey, Kim.
Hi, how are y'all?
All right, how are
Good.
you?
I'm doing good.
What part of the country you rocking with us from?
I'm still down south. I'll be back next week.
Okay. All right, all
Mm-hmm.
right, all right, all right. You got your smile. What you sipping on?
Alkaline water tonight.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't have any soda or any
that's right. That's right.
alcohol for about 2 weeks.
I saw your picture. I was like, why she
Hmm.
come on there with the little picture all the way?
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad you're able to
but
talk today.
yeah, I am.
Oh, that's right.
I'm getting
You had some
Invisalign at
dental
the
work
bottom.
She
done.
had some,
That's right.
yeah, where
I
she
have
was up.
extra teeth.
She said,
That's
I got
right.
actual teeth. Well, people don't have actual teeth these
No,
days.
I said extra.
Oh,
Extra teeth.
extra teeth.
I've gotten like all my wisdom teeth taken out. I got an extra tooth in the back taken out last summer, another one down here, and I still got two in my gum. I got one, like my regular teeth. It's
Hmm.
extra on this side, and then I have two more in my gums. They've been there all along. They full teeth. I just can't feel them.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So they're adult teeth.
That's funny.
So how'd
Yeah.
they find them if you didn't feel them? You didn't have
It didn't
pain or
pop up.
anything?
It didn't pop up on my X-ray until I was 28.
Oh my goodness.
So it's been there the
Interesting.
whole time, but I can't feel anything. And it didn't
Yeah.
pop on X-ray till then. The orthodontist said he thinks they've been there since I was like 14, 15.
Hmm.
But
Wow.
I get it taken out, but why why do that
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
a
they
Yeah.
child?
not doing like there's no problems with them.
They
Right.
was like, oh, it's near your nasal cavity. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
don't even understand why they want to pull out your wisdom teeth if they're not bothering you.
Right.
But
but
it
my
seems like
wisdom teeth,
that's the
that's
norm.
the thing. But see, my wisdom teeth, like for example, they don't bother me until the first day they start bothering me, and I had to get them taken out. I can't keep
Hmm.
stuff now.
Hmm.
And it's so funny how I mean, not that this is tonight's conversation, but we're here now. But it's so funny how important dental health is, but we don't talk about that a lot. And
Man,
when people become seniors, they need certain procedures, then they have to go backwards to all of the dental health that they haven't been taken
Hmm.
care of,
Yes.
and it can prevent some procedures that you may need at those elder years.
and I
Hmm.
think a lot
So
of times people don't realize if they can't fix all the work they need to because it's too much to do,
Yeah.
they'll just recommend to take all your teeth out that's left.
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, especially if you go into the special hookup places.
It's nothing wrong with them, but you got to know
It,
your research and do and have
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I
You're right
mean
though. We don't
the
talk
dental
about it.
schools, the dental schools
Yeah.
will work you out, but you realize you at a dental school.
Hmm.
Like you go to the beauty school to get your
Yes,
hair and nails
yes,
done. But let me tell
yes.
you, Empire when I had I still have natural hair, but when I didn't have locks, Empire always had my press and curl, and the curls right with the wrap. Oh my gosh, I could always get a good curl at Empire. That's all I'm saying.
I never ventured to them. There's something about it. I needed people to have some form of a license and some experience.
Well,
I mean, I get it. I get it.
I used to go to the shop, but sometimes my mom used to send me to the dental school to get my hair done. And I had crooked hair, so they used to put a super on my hair. And they said, we put a super and it's been in your hair for 30 minutes. I said, you still gonna need to press and flat iron it. So I'm just saying, I've had the dental school experience early. I mean, the dental school experience.
Right. And I think it was times when, my hairstylist has elevated herself in a lot of different ways, like educationally to do different stuff. But those times that she was doing that, her schedule would be tricky is the word I'll say. It'd be tricky. And so I remember when I lived in West Philly, I had to find like a salon, and it was like, okay, I don't know none of these people. And I went to the Dominican sisters, and they was okay for a minute, but then when I moved to the Northeast, I had the same situation where the scheduling was tricky, and was like, okay, let me find some Dominican sisters. They end up putting a texturizer in my hair without. That's not what I wanted.
They just the conditioner.
Like they say it's a conditioner, but it's a whole texturizer because I have natural hair, like under these lovely protective styles, and they was like, "Oh, that's gonna take extra work. We need to." Yeah.
Well, what I
didn't know it. My hairstylist told me.
But what I used to do, going to the hair, like just get a press, just get it. I guess what they call it, what's the name of it? Not a press curl. Not a press and curl. They call it something else. They do it with the flat irons. It's not coming to my head right now. But what I used to do to cut my price in half, I used to wash and condition my hair myself, and I used to like air dry it, kind of comb it out myself and blow dry it. So when I went in, I was just like, give me a slight trim, and I'm old school. White people know how to blow out hair. So
somebody said, "Is this a hair show?"
It's not a hair show. It's not a hair show.
I had the round brush with the blow dryer, and I'm
like, talking about different stuff a moment ago. You missed it.
I know, and it just hit my roots. I'd be like, "Thank you, $10, $15."
That's just kind of where it went.
Yeah, not on it.
Yeah. And I don't even know how we got there.
On here,
we just doing the checking in and the current events, and
I can talk today. So
yeah, right. So Facebook user, you gotta let us know what you're sipping on, and Camp has alkaline water. Did we need to know your whole regimen? Oh, I don't know what's that's directed towards. So. Yeah, we sipping and we chatting. So is there any community events that we want to highlight, talk about? Mine is consistent. May 18th. If you want Philadelphia, we got to get out and vote. The local elections is so much more important than it is for the other ones.
Community news kind of like nationwide.
Absolutely.
In certain states. Well, a lot of states are saying now you don't need a permit for a gun. They're trying to do away with the gun permit so that you can just
we know what party agreed
just
on
carry
that one,
and don't have to have no kind of permit, no background check.
So we going back. We going back to the Wild Wild West.
For people to get out and vote.
We going back to the Wild Wild West.
Right.
I guess so, but it's important. It's important for people to vote right now in these local elections, because even in it don't matter if it's Republican or Democrat. Even down here, they saying it's most likely to pass. When this state down here is known for permits.
Somebody saying, what states is that happening in?
It's a conversation of national news because two states have already passed it, but down here, I know in Texas, like southern states, they're talking about getting rid of gun permits. Period. In other places, Midwest, North, just various states, as a conversation is on the table right now. So voting is important because in some states it's already on the billing, to vote for. So local elections are important.
The local elections actually make more decisions that impact us on a day-to-day basis,
Basic,
because
yeah.
you come in contact with district attorneys, you come in contact with judges, you come in contact with them more than you come in contact with governors and presidents. So it's like, if you don't know what they're talking about and how they have your interests at heart, then if the national conversations sometimes, go over your head because it's not really addressing your needs.
And then also just, local and education budgets, especially with the school district of
Absolutely.
Philadelphia. You need to be looking at that because they got like $9 billion from the government, but we still can't open all the schools for programs this summer for children to be safe. And the gun violence is going up, so that's very important, especially for
Absolutely.
Philadelphia and surrounding areas
It's
too.
around a lot of the urban
Everybody.
areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those were important. Any other community events that's a worldwide shenanigan? And it's like when you say that, and I know this is probably, especially if somebody's ready for us to dive into the relationship stuff that we are talking about tonight. But it was interesting that I learned that in 1702, I believe it is, which is the reason why they don't want us to talk about 1619 in schools and stuff like that. In 1702, they created a law that any male who was of the other persuasion, 21 years of age, were like delegates to kind of enforce and invade slave quarters, melanated people's homes, and also break up crowds with permission. So if we think about the George, not Zimmerman, we think about Zimmerman, he had permission based off of this law that was written in 1702, because they, as a white male, they have this privilege to be delegates over brown bodies. So it's like they just changed the words between it being delegate to police officers, but it was written all the way back in 1702 for them to just invade our personal spaces. So I don't know. That makes me question a whole lot. A whole lot. And so jumping into this week's conversation, so you do see that Miss April will not be joining us this week, and we're not sure about Daryl. He got an event going on with his daughter, so we hope that his energy is able to be present, but we're gonna rock it out with the sister ring crew, and we are talking about I spelled that all types of wrong. Toxic masculinity. Do women have to suffer for love? Who want to jump at that first? I gotta correct that because I'm not gonna be able to sit and look at that.
Oh, so do women have to suffer for love? I think black women believe that, and other minorities, I think, or just people in general. Women can believe that in general. Because we had this thing, be down for your man or ride or die. Like
And
this
why we gotta ride or die though?
Right.
I don't know, but I think it just goes back and shows like oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was saying to keep a man. Okay, you get a man, and the way to keep him is to do everything he asked you to do, even though no matter the situation, he's the head of the household, whether you married or not, it don't matter. Long-term relationships, because back in the day, they would say they was married, but they've been together 40, 50 years. So at that mean they are married at that point. So it's like you raise these kids, you gotta cook, clean, work, and still be there to soothe his ego. But what do you have left for you at the end of the day? But
So
like
right.
It could be 15 years and they're like, oh, he done really made a comeback. He's really doing better. But it took him 15, 20 years. Not saying people don't grow or people in their own timing. But when it comes to that, black women, we be waiting at the bus stop. We be waiting at the bus stop forever. And we're like, girl, he got a job. Right. And the whole community will clap. But when we say sister got a job, oh, she should have been had a job. She needs to get a second job. She got all them kids to take care of, or she not doing enough. Her mama, she needs to take care of mama, daddy, sister, and brother, because she is the oldest. So we have so much put on us. We bear the brunt of everything as women in general. Not saying men don't. They do take care of kids. They do cook and clean, all the good stuff. But historically, it's a double-edged sword.
So what makes masculinity toxic though? And then like what what makes masculinity toxic?
What are some of the behaviors?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you asked.
Or how does it happen?
Yeah, that's all
I
I was
guess a
gonna ask.
mixture of both.
Okay. All right. I came across a list. You know how we like our lists.
Right,
I
right,
came
right.
across a list that talked about some of the behaviors that are toxic. So being stoic, not being emotional and sharing your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
being promiscuous,
Mm-hmm.
acting like heterosexuality is the only way to be,
Right.
being violent, needing to be dominant, sexual aggression towards women,
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
risk taking, glorification. Well, overall, it's a glorification of unhealthy habits.
Right.
Hmm?
Right. Okay, so you just said a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm looking at this one comment about historically, really,
Mm.
and I'm not saying, Doc, you don't know, but it's like I want to lean into what Camp was saying because I know that that's where that came from,
Okay.
but I'm asking for help from the both of you guys because the thing about how a woman's role is defined in this world and in relationships come from the mammy role, and it's like
Yes.
saying the same. What's those? It's three other roles that kind of define us culturally overall. I know the mammy, where we're very permissive and accepting and kind of go with the flow, that kind of gives permission for a toxic relationship to live.
Mm.
Hey, Ruth.
Hey, Neil.
When you talk about something you said historically, but there's always been since like the 17, 1800s,
Mm-hmm.
even when it came, okay, when they learned how to do hysterectomies, or in the
Mm-hmm.
medical world, they've always practiced on black women or black slaves or mammies, how you want to say it.
Right.
And the thought process was at the time that black women were kind of invincible in terms of pain and being harmed, and that we can. A lot of us do have a high tolerance of pain, but it doesn't mean we're not in pain.
Right.
Mm.
So it was that they practice on us, and that's how they know about the female, the being of a female and everything about us is
Mm-hmm.
through black slaves and black women, and
Mm-hmm.
also other minorities through even with stuff like Depo and giving Chicano Mexican women, black women sterilizations and hysterectomies they didn't even say yes to or knew nothing about.
Right.
And then that's why they do these case studies, even back then, like the last couple of 4 or 5 decades,
Right.
providing money or medicine to say, oh, this is going to help you. This is for this. But all this whole time, you're trying to get pregnant and can't have babies. Just like different things like that. So, this, I think, in the world, is like when we have babies or when we go for like treatments or illness, like stuff to really help us grow and help us,
Mm-hmm.
they give us experimental medication saying it's this versus that. So
Mm.
that whole mantra of black women or just especially us in general,
Mm-hmm.
you can do this and that to us and we'll take it.
Right. Right. And it's like the world is built off of
Right, that belief to some
about
extent.
that belief, and from the patriarchal standpoint that masculine is the one who's supposed to take care of everything. So then it made the imaging of the role of a woman take on responsibilities that wasn't necessarily that don't necessarily serve us well in today's conversation. So and when I not so much in today's conversation but in today's life, because the patriarchal mindset doesn't give us permission for the flexibility. And when you say the women took care of the house, every role in which a woman has in the house is a job, is a something that people pay for, that was not paid for in certain generations of our life. And
Mm.
so when it becomes toxic is that imbalance of having the different roles that are colonized, defined, those different roles that kind of dictate who is the one that's creating the toxic stress, the energy, the roles and responsibility, like all of those different stuff. But it comes from that basis of, from the very beginning, how the role of a woman to exist was created, and we still live those different patterns daily. She did work. She took care of the children. She cleaned the house. She cooked the food. She was make sure the house was maintained. He brought the money in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Doc, you had
And
something to
that's
say.
no, that's actually one of the things on the list. Not engaging in household chores and caregiving, like that's not part of your responsibility as a man.
Right.
That's also on the list.
Which comes when, life, um, when life shifts, and say women began to work outside of the home, or
Mm-hmm.
even now as we are, professionals, however it is that we are professionals or doing stuff outside of the home. So those things still need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And to have a conversation about that, usually a woman is trying to do both the outside responsibility and the inside, and then becomes disengaged for other things than relationship because they're tired.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So I just keep hearing I work. Well, I work too. I have a business. I have a business too. I'm taking care of one or two of the kids. I'm taking care of the other kid too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I'm in
mm-hmm.
traffic for an hour. I drive an hour and 15. It's no comparison. Like
But
similar
we make it
things.
competitive.
Because it's not
Mm-hmm.
competitive. Like this is. It's not about that. It's not always 50-50. I don't even believe in that. You can do as much as you can do your capacity,
It's
but it
100,
definitely is
100.
right. Give it your all. Whatever you have capacity, give it your all. But
Mm-hmm.
also, this list talks about the effects of toxic masculinity. It talked about ignoring personal traumas, like men, how that can contribute to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it trickles
Mm-hmm.
down to mental health, and then trickles down to the next generation. If they end up having boys or even having nephews, like boys in the family for the next generation in general.
Right.
So, but you know how they say we in our DNA we still feel the effects of like what happened to our ancestors
Mm-hmm.
centuries
Mm-hmm.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would think it makes sense now that the next generation and the generation after will feel our personal like or men their personal effect of
Mm-hmm.
trauma.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that
Definitely.
was
Definitely.
interesting. And it just talked about the gender-based violence, sexual assault, gun violence, and just the homophobic beliefs. Like
Mm-hmm.
it talks about how in the United States, uh, in general, people care about that women are kind, caring, but when it comes to men, it's seen as negative for them to be emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
Mm-hmm.
valued in a man. So
Like they're not
I also
human,
had
like
to
they
think
don't
about.
experience
Mm-hmm.
challenges or something like that, which is
Mm-hmm.
makes it difficult to communicate to their partner effectively, because they have this image that they can only do but so much.
And then I even have to think about as women, if our partners or husbands or whoever, male friends get emotional, do we like say, "Oh, why are you getting all emotional?" Do we contribute
Mm-hmm.
to that?
Of course. Of course. You know, of course.
All
Like,
day.
I've heard even my
Yes,
girlfriend say, "Why you
yes.
acting so soft?" Like do
Telling your
certain things.
telling your sons not to cry. Man up.
Man up.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Don't
even
be
the
a
reverse,
wuss.
telling your daughters to play victim. Like they
Mm-hmm.
can play victim and get more. So it's like, and it's not just that women or girls do
Mm-hmm.
that, but because men do it as well. They play victim because they end up learning that they get more attention that way. And if they are attention starved, then they've created a way to ensure by always playing the victim role. Oh, I had to do
Mm-hmm.
all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And even you talk about the victim. I feel
Uh-huh.
like and being in my relationships, I fought more for not having to do all the household chores because I grew up with sisters and brothers, and the boys didn't have to do anything but take out the trash.
Mm.
Right.
But we had to gather trash, we had to make their bed, cook and clean for them every day, clean their bathroom and our own as the girls of the family. So I felt like I was like, and then it just got deeper. I have all boys. I was like, I'm not your man. We're not doing this. So I just feel as though I was even more adamant about having an equal footing in my household with household chores. Because I was like, I grew up with this, I can handle it, but I'm not cooking, I'm not doing all the cleaning. I'm not doing all of this. So even when it came down to that, it was like, I'm supposed to wash clothes. So what we had to come in a meeting to the minds. I don't like washing clothes, but I will. He's better at washing clothes. But we decided to do was just drop them off and get them washed. So it was just
There you
like,
go.
well, if you don't want to
There you
contribute
go.
more to the household chores, I guess you're going to be paying for stuff to get done. So if I need something done in the house and you're not going to do it, even if you can, I need the money and it needs to be in the account so I can get somebody to come out here and do it.
Right. Right.
Like cutting the grass,
And
like
that's
just
where
certain things.
but I think that's where it shows up in today's relationships being conflictual and, just realizing, okay, but these things still need to get done. So like laundry or meal prep or whatever, like all of those are services now that, people,
Provided.
yes, it can be provided so that we
Yes.
can have balance and don't look at it as it being a negative that I'm not
Right.
doing my part to the house. But okay, I got the text message, the laundry is being picked up on Tuesday and it's going to be dropped off on Wednesday. That's my life. Come pick it up. I ain't even, all I got to do is separate it. I don't even have to do that, but that I do it.
And then I think traditionally, even though like I saw my uncle and aunts married or my parents married, and it would be like the man didn't think about everything. He just assumed that she was gonna do everything. And so it would be like, what we making for dinner? And like if the aunt or grandma or mom just got home, they like, what we eating for dinner? But you
Like
fixing
you've been
the
sitting in this
kids.
house all day. You
But
ain't
dang,
pulled nothing out the freezer.
you ain't put nothing out the freezer, but you expect me to defrost real quick? Let's get on microwave or and try to season it and marinate it and do this
And they
thing.
don't want no microwave. They want the whole
Right, whole
45-minute
25,
oven
right,
cooking. Right.
and then it's like, well, if she was like, oh, I could just go get something to eat real quick. No, I want a home cooked meal. Two vegetables of starch, and 2 meats. And it was a situation where a family member, her husband had to have rice every night with every meal because he was military. And I was just like, you make rice every day? Like
Right.
it to each his own. But I'm just saying that
Right.
it was a consumption, even with the kids. Oh, you got a field trip? They need to volunteer. I guess somebody's going when it ain't me. Like it just automatically fell on the woman a lot of times. So I've seen that growing up.
And actually
Even with go ahead.
the role assignments actually happen growing up. Like when you just said can't, that the woman or the mother was the one who's in, and this is not all relationships before Facebook user starts coming out and saying, I'm saying all relationships, especially now who I know who it is. So like, no, I'm not saying all relationships, but our family of origin, how we were raised on what gender was responsible for what, dictates and plays itself out when we become partnered. And so you're like, okay, what you mean? You just need money for the fundraiser because I got a project to do. The husband's role being assigned. He saw his father either not be involved at the different school activities, the plays, all the different events. And so then therefore they don't know that it should be anything different other than possibly showing up for a main event or something like that. And then that's it. And they're only going to show up late because the mom is already there setting up the tables with the tablecloths and the decorations and running around and, you're doing all this other stuff. But it's looked as if it's an easy job, but it's a job that's been poured into her or him gender wise from their living room when they were growing up, and they don't even realize that they're just recreating the pattern from what they were learning in their younger years. So they don't know how to break it until it becomes an argument or becomes toxic.
Yes, for sure. So Neil Root make a good point. It's all about a conversation, because you might not even like the traditional role assignment.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
And I think the toxicity comes in when you're being shamed
Exactly.
For not being the traditional woman.
Yeah, I
And
can see
being,
that.
being looked at as something's wrong with you because you
Right.
don't want to cook or clean, or
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to have to ask, can I go to the store while you watch the baby?
Ask.
Ask.
Right. And they be like,
Ask.
"Oh, I'm babysitting." No, boo, this your
No,
child
that's
too.
your
You're not
child.
babysitting. You're
You are
not
not
watching.
babysitting.
Yeah,
You're not
right,
Right.
right. You're not babysitting. You're keeping your kids. That's what that is.
It's called couples collaboration. That's
Yes.
we
Right.
communicating. We working it
Yes.
out side by side. There's
And
no
this conversation is always funny in couples when they're arguing about childcare. And I ask the husband, how many times have you said, watch the baby while I run to the store? It's always never.
right.
Never.
Right.
I just go. Yeah. How about that?
Right. You jumping all the way to dinner. We ain't even at the dinner.
Well, but when you mention that, I know I'm probably opposite. I'm probably weird. So like I have three that range in different ages, but I like to just do me. So I will always just take the baby. It was easier. People will say it's easy to take the older kids. For me, it was always easy to take the baby. I would be places. I would be at barbecues and hangouts. They be like, where the baby at? I'd be like, right here. We underneath the receipt, the whole get up. It would match my clothes. And they was like, you just be out. It ain't nothing. The older ones, they take forever because they can talk. They can. I don't want to do this. I'll just stay home. I was the opposite, but then it was just like I'd be like, oh, I'm going somewhere, and I would take the baby and be out for hours. He like, I thought you was going somewhere. Yeah, I had errands, but I also did brunch, and I'm out and about. I said, you ain't got the
Right.
baby. What you worried about?
Right.
Well, but then communication, like just call me and say something. I'd be like, oh,
Right.
all right, because I figured since I had the baby, I done took the work away, so. What you calling for? I'm just saying in my 20s, I was like, so just the whole communication, I think it just depends on the couple and what's going on. But
it does, and it's like if you somebody's. I'm trying to be nice since they Facebook user, saying don't pick and choose which ones. It's not a matter of picking and choosing. It goes back to what Ruth, also known as Neil, shares that it comes back to communication. So it becomes a conflict of an argument when you haven't taken the space to honor that we're apparently working from two different perspectives. So let's come to our own, what's going to be our shared language that we have around how the house is maintained and how the finances is maintained, how childcare is maintained, and don't leave nothing off the table, and have it as an open-ended conversation that we come back and revisit it as we grow as a couple and as the things that we're being responsible for have shifts because jobs change, responsibilities change, like different things evolve. So just because you have the one, when you decide to have that one conversation, that's the platform, but you plan to have this conversation over and over again, and not from a negative standpoint, but from a we growing. So how we agreed upon before needs to look different.
And I think sometimes when you have that one conversation, people think you're one and done. Oh, okay, we run with this for the next 7, 8 years. But that's not
because 3 years ago we wasn't talking about me going to grad school or you changing careers or our child going to ballet or on a ski trip. Like we didn't have those conversations. So every time something new happens, we need to come back to the blueprint and see how the blueprint is working it out.
Also, even if you don't have
division of
kids,
labor will look different in those different situations.
And I was even thinking about even if you don't have kids or your kids are grown, like sometimes it can be a shift. You need to have that conversation that you're spending your Saturday with your parents and you're going to hang out with them versus being home with your mate. Or I'm going out with my aunties, or like even little stuff like that can be contentious because they're like, "Where you at? I'm supposed to have my dinner. I'm used to eating at this time. I'm used to watching the show at this time. Where you at?" Like, it could be something simple as that.
But that also comes from communicating too.
True. It does.
You know, this is the Saturday that I'm going to hang out with my parents. So our Saturday schedule is going to look a little different. Either can we pick another time? You're going to need to warm up the food for yourself because I'm not sure how long we're going to be. Like, it's just communication.
It's all communication.
Hey,
Definitely.
Liz.
Hi.
Got our St. Lucia love happening.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do when you come across that kind of toxic person? I mean, I know you married Camp, but when you think back, you know, because I think, and you made a good point, Camp, and saying, you know, asking, do we fuel this as women?
Mm-hmm.
You know, can we stop it in its tracks? Or are we just doomed to, you know, if we like a guy and he has these ideas about what being a man is, do we have to always just keep moving on?
Right.
Yeah. So I know. Okay. So we were together probably 8 years at this point, 9 years, but we had been married for a couple of years. And I know my husband loves to have me around. There's nothing wrong with that. Like he likes to see me be around the house, doing different things. I could just be chilling. He would like to just know I'm around. But just that I had to be like not had to be around. So I would call like, but I'm used to just kind of. So the way I was kind of raised.
Shucks.
Uh-oh.
Things is about to change.
What? Oh,
They was went outside and walking in the car.
Oh,
Things is about to change.
Hey, girl.
Oh, man.
It was.
Oh, man.
I felt overwhelmed, so I would just take. I had one then. I would just take the child, go to my girlfriend's house, or go to my sister's house, just to get a breather. Not so much of in physical space, but just to clear my mind.
And then he come with all this noise.
He can't just enter quietly.
No,
he can't.
That's not his lifestyle.
And I just think it made it took him to be like, hey, what's up 6 months later? Like because I'm used to just when I want to go somewhere, I'm just going. I didn't even as a child. I wonder why I didn't have to say I'm going here. I just walk out the house, come back. So it was just like so my response is always flight, just escape, come back, chill. So 6 months later, he was like, I noticed that you. I said, well, you noticed that because it's a little bit too much for me. I just need to breathe, and not so much in physical space, it's just my mind. If I can't clear my mind, the environment, the energy, it can be good, but it may not be good for too much. Oh, the sensory of it.
Right.
And we talked about it, and that was like a compromise because it was just like, well, if you just say something, I wasn't used to saying this. I'm just used to get dressed, let's go. Whoever left at the house, left at the house. I mean, my Saturday is planned. So it's just about just really opening up, having that conversation, and being honest. Like, look, I know you like this, but how I flow better or just have an easier day is if I can just my mental can breathe, not physically, just the mental breathe a little bit. And I would feel like when I'm stuck in the corner mentally, I escape. This is my early 20s, but I'm just saying that it helped by having that conversation. Because my whole thing is, if I got the kid, what you got to worry about? Like we good, you good. It's all copacetic, but it wasn't. So but that did create a toxic environment because it was just like me. He wasn't necessarily doing anything wrong, but it was just like fleeing every time because just the expectations, certain things were overwhelming.
Right.
So it was a few of those conversations, but I had to explain to him, if I'm not here, I'm at these two places, my sister's house or my best friend's house. And if my phone is going to voicemail, I need a breather. So I'm just saying that was a conversation as well.
Yeah, okay.
You sound muffled.
Yes.
Yeah, I come in the car, I think. Hold on, I'll try to
okay.
I don't know if that's any better.
That's better.
That's way better. Yeah.
Okay.
How are you today?
I'm perfect.
Are you really wanting to ask him that?
Yeah, I'm
Perfect.
actually
Thank
asking
you.
to be
I
concerned.
thank you. That, you know what? That's
You're
and,
welcome.
and that's what men don't. And that's what men don't get. We don't get to ask how our days are. We don't get to ask how we're doing. I know we did
So
talk about this toxic masculinity, but
does
we
that
don't.
justify
People
the
don't ask
toxic
us how we're doing.
masculinity?
Well, who said it justified it? Who said we justified anything? I'm just
Oh
saying with
gosh.
with
You saying
with
it can
people talk.
contribute to that when you're not able to talk about your feelings?
Well, no, I'm saying not. It contributes to it in the way that society doesn't allow. I heard you guys talk about how lack of emotion, right? But
Right.
Mm-hmm.
it don't care about a man's emotions, right? They
Right.
don't
Right.
like I said, they
Right.
don't ask us how we're doing. They don't. It's not something they think that our feelings are not something that are usually taken into account, right?
They
Mm.
should go to
Um,
work.
hey, just go to work. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, even men amongst men are not like yo, not really like yo. How you doing? Yo, you good? Are you really good? That's because we're not trained to do that, right? That's not something that's
Mm-hmm.
really so. And women are the same. They're trained not to ask us really how we're doing or what's going on with us really. Um, it may be a very surface, but it's not like they don't really ask really how you're doing. Um, they're usually talking about the things that that are
Bothering
bothering
them.
them. Yeah, that's what we got to hear all day was bothering them, and our whatever's going on with us just never really gets dealt with.
Well, I noticed
Mm-hmm.
that a couple of years ago. So sometimes I can be on a tangent about my day. Then I'll be like, hold on, how was your day? What's really going
Word,
on with you? And he'll say,
word.
I'm okay. And I'm like, nah, I can hear it in your voice. Something is different. So what's really going on?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And he's like, oh, you really want to know? Yes.
Uh huh.
I'm a little bit
Men
older, a
need
little
that,
bit more mature. I get it. I see it. So we need to talk about it.
and no, that's with everything. I think as we mature, hopefully, well, not everybody, but we should kind of learn some things. A lot of us don't learn. Like, we got a lot of grown adolescents running around. Um, but we need to start reaching back and teaching and as we were talking I was thinking about it. All the men I know are very present in their children's lives, like very
Okay.
very present.
That's good.
um
That is good.
like
Hmm.
not just I'm gonna come throw you a couple times in there and go back to mom, but actually
Yeah.
actually present. I mean,
Right.
um,
Involved.
uh,
Yeah.
involved. I mean, but it was weird because it was very. My daughter's mother is Hispanic, right? So
Hmm.
it was very weird for me to be so involved, change diapers, want to have the baby all the time. It was weird for her, and it took her. Well, we both had to adjust because it's just normal for me to want to be around, especially my child. I like children anyway, so I wanted to be around my child all the time. But I didn't know it was affecting her because she was like, that's not what we do. Like men don't do that
Mm-hmm.
in our tradition,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
it really was, messing with her. And like
Mm-hmm.
that, you're really taking care of this kid. Like you're really doing my job. That's how she felt. Like she really had these gender roles, and she was like, "You're
Yes.
doing my
Yes.
job." So
Yes. Yes.
where do I
Yes.
fit? Where do I fit in? And I
Yes.
said, I don't know, nor do I care. Me and my daughter,
Okay.
me and my daughter are chilling right now. Don't come over here with that nonsense.
But you know what, Daryl? From the community that we serve from time to time, it can
Yeah,
so go in a bad way because the woman doesn't realize that that's what some men do. They really want to be
abs-
involved. They want to be around
absolutely,
their kid. They want to be
absolutely.
with them. Doesn't mean that they want to do something to their kid.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Doesn't mean that they're mistreating their
Right.
child.
Right.
yes,
Right.
Because
Right.
I know, I mean, I'm sure you know cases there. We've seen this where you have to say to the woman, no, he's just involved.
yes. Well,
Right. Or
that's what I was
even
going through.
accepting the capacity of the involvement,
Mm-hmm.
because you may have an expectation of what you want or will want your partner to do, and because they can't do it at 100%, you don't allow or accept the 25% of what they can do.
Well, yeah, that too. We see that all the time as
Well,
well.
I see
Mm-hmm.
that all the time.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
well,
the
they
it's
can't
yes.
give. They can't give.
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
it's tough, and this is very anecdotal, but I don't know. I know, like they always say like men aren't involved, especially black men aren't involved. And what I see now, and from different ages, from 20s up, all these men I know are very involved with their children. You know, for the most part, I do see a lot of men being very involved in their children's life, school, you know, changing them, teaching them, just being there. You know, and I know it's still weird to see because so my daughter had a party at Sweet and Sassy this past Saturday, and myself and my other my cousin, who his daughter came, we took the girls to the party, and they were looking at us like we had three heads. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, where are the moms? Excuse us.
Right.
We're here. Party start. Let's go. You know?
Right.
And if that card was flipped to say that she's always doing everything, you know, where is he at? Why he's not helping or anything like that? Like that's where if we just talk toxic relationships in and of itself before we add masculinity into it, like you know, Camp, you said who is responsible, who fuels who? It's fueled by both sides.
Yes,
Well,
I just
remember the toxic feminine is coming in as well. Because that overbearing thinking that I have to do this.
Everything.
It's my role to do this. I have to. You push the man out, right? That becomes a toxic environment on the other way. You know, even as far as me, I'm doing a good thing by I'll make my own plate. You cook. You know, I go to a barbecue or something. Y'all cook. I can make my own plate. But people are looking at the girl like, why he got to get his own plate? You ain't nothing. You know, so that toxic femininity also comes off very. Because now I feel weird. I'm like, I got
very
hands.
strong.
You feel me? I got hands. She don't gotta make my food. But I didn't know now I'm disrespecting somebody by making my own food. I'm like, please put the rules on the door. Put the rules on the door. Because I don't know. I thought I was a good thing by giving them a break because you guys cook. But no, it's a problem. So anything to the extreme, either way, is a problem. You know, definitely presents as a problem.
And the men that I know are very involved in their kids' lives as well. Like my daughter's father, my husband, he went to everything. Yep. He was the one that went up to the school on her birthdays with cupcakes for the class. He was the one that went on the class, that took off work and went on the class trips.
Yep.
Because I was working in school and I prefer he do it.
And they probably talked about you like a dog too.
I bet they did.
They was like, Coco-licious, don't even show up for her.
You understand? You understand?
Like a mother don't come to nothing.
She ain't no good. You know?
Right?
But that's because we got to reshape the way we look at our relationships. And we gotta reshape, you know, these, like I said, these old dated, we'll say, gender roles are not what they used to be because life is a lot different these days, right? So, so it shouldn't be, like I said, people are shaking my hand that's Sweet and Sassy. Me and my cousin like, oh my God, it's so great to see men out. I'm like, really? Y'all, what is this? Like, y'all never seen men anywhere? Like, stop. You know, but we got to change our way of thinking because a lot of times we think things that may not be true, but it's just it's been, you know, presented to us so many times that it becomes a reality.
Yeah.
And I don't have any stats on it. I'm just saying from what I see so many men involved in their children's life that old adage where men, especially black men, don't raise kids. I don't believe it to be true. I just don't believe it to be true.
I just see a lot. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and even just on a basic, simpler level, you know, sometimes you may not, and I said this before, and a Facebook user got me, but sometimes you may not
Facebook user is the black box.
You may not like doing a certain thing, and if your partner likes doing it,
let them do it.
Yes, we got a team effort right here.
Right.
I just remember a couple of years ago, I showed up to the family Mother's Day. They was like, we're the family, you're by yourself. I said, he wanted to take the kids and give me a break. But then Father's Day came around. They was like, you here by yourself again? I said he wanted to take the kids because there was an all men's barbecue on his side of the family, and everybody had their sons. So they was like, how you show up to Mother's Day and Father's Day without the fam? I said, well, I'm cool. but my side of the family had a real big problem with that because they were like, you're not doing your job because you were supposed to have him on Mother's Day and you were supposed to have him on Father's Day and give him time himself. I said, well, he has all boys and he wants his boys with him. Well, who wanted to say no? What is like him showing up to all men's brunch barbecue without his sons, and that's a family.
And they know that he got all sons.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna say no.
people need to stop trying to run other people's relationships. That's what really needs to happen, right?
That's
If this is working, if this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. Why are you questioning me as a grown man or woman about my relationship status and what we're doing?
Right. And I was accused of never having the kid. And I was like, okay, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
come on.
But we have these different platforms though that has informed these beliefs and these values, these roles, all of this different stuff. And the thing about it is that when you at the cookout, how you run your house, or you at the grocery store, wherever you at, how you run your house is not everybody else's business.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
No.
Long as you and your partner have decided how it's going to look on whatever, I don't want to say the word, on whatever holiday that is important in the calendar, then it's like, okay, let us show up how we want to show up. I didn't put them in no box. They not hidden in the basement,
Right.
like they doing their life, and I'm here to represent our family. Like, can I represent? Can I have a plate? Can I get a red cup? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Love it.
And it was like, next time you come around, you better bring them kids and that husband of yours. But it was all,
I mean, if you miss us that much,
right?
And if you miss us that much, just invite us over. We'll come together.
For regular day, not a holiday. A regular old day. We'll come through.
We'll come through. Hungry.
But then it's always, I feel like sometimes, I don't want to say always, but a lot of times it be older generations.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking that while you were talking.
Yes, it's the older generation.
But I think sometimes, even though it is the older generations, the younger generations feel loyal to the older generation stuff.
They do. They do.
So it brings that conflict. It brings the conflict when you're trying to evolve as your own self, and then you show up in your own self in that environment, and they want to question your values.
Daryl's little what you were talking about resonated with me, because I've been to function here and there where he fixed my plate and people are like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. It's like,
and they be like, that's on another level. But he fixed your plate.
Like he committed a sin.
Yeah, but he fixed your plate. You want a new level? They be like, oh, what she do to you? What's going on?
And it automatically goes to a sexual comment.
It does.
Oh,
right.
She must be doing something, which makes it a sexual objectification.
Right.
And what you done did in the bedroom to make him be so compliant and submissive.
Right. How does that correlate to a plate being made?
It ain't got nothing to do with it. Ain't got
right, but that's what it always goes at the cookouts and the barbecues.
Or just that he's a soft man. And sometimes not the bedroom, it's like he's soft. He ain't a real man.
Oh, he whipped. I heard that. Like, oh,
yeah.
whipped.
No, he just it's
and it can't be that he's just a good partner. And sometimes I make a plate, sometimes he make a plate. It's whoever get up first.
Yeah, like he got up and asked me if I wanted a plate. Sure, babe. Like I'm talking to you. I'm not interrupting my conversation. I'm here. I'm present. You want me to interrupt our conversation because my role is defined by you, that I gotta make a plate? He got two hands.
And that's what you gotta understand.
Even this. All right.
No, I'm saying that's what
we
you
in the
understand.
studio. We can see you.
I like your hair too.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Thank you.
I'm not complimenting you today.
You don't have to.
Just for the love's sake. That's all.
I think that we have to understand that roles and relationships don't have to go down like I said. We have these set hard lines for these relationships that we think they're supposed to be, and we have to start letting them up, because different relationships, it might work for your relationship or another relationship. They may be okay with that, but let people live in their truth and what works for them, as long as it's not hurting anybody. But somebody fixing a plate, are we really talking about somebody fixing a plate? Like, that's what we're dealing with. To me, that's ridiculous.
Like Allen Iverson said, are we really talking about practice? Like,
practice?
Right. I show up at the game and I got everything taken care of. You talking about the plate? We both gonna eat. Why does it matter for you to see me serve him or him serve me? Like, why does it matter? We happy? I'm safe.
Exactly.
The house is taken care of. Like, are you asking those basic questions?
But people really do believe in these roles, and they think there's something wrong with people who don't follow them.
Yes, because I remember before I got married, I had the older ladies in my family take me aside. I have raised 5 or 6 siblings. I know how to cook, but they took me aside and said, I need to know how to make key meals. After we moving together, we got married. Like, you need to know how to make this fried chicken a certain way. This macaroni and cheese, like certain dishes in the black family. So guess what?
The heart attack foods.
I had older cousins who would get married who didn't know how to cook. So I ended up taking on this role, teaching them how to make 4 or 5 meals after they got married. Like I did, taught them how to do spaghetti and meatballs, a roast, mac and cheese, fried chicken, and like a chicken, like do like a chicken, like a if you have it, if you straighten it like a barbecue sandwich or whatever. Okay. So I took on this role because this was what was done to me. But then after I had a couple cousins get married, I was like, I need to stop this because if they don't know how to cook by now, they need to get a cookbook or YouTube. Or I'm done because I was the one, because all the older ladies in my family used to like, go to LaJoya. She's been married for a couple of years. We taught her this, so she'll teach you her spin on it. The carrots and the onions and the celery and the mashed potato. It got to a point where I was even like, my cousins, they've also married outside. They've married people that's not
other
black,
cultures,
other cultures. So I was even, I'm from Texas, so I was even teaching the cousin how to make enchiladas. I was just like, am I?
But those things are become so deeply ingrained. I mean, I've been to other place, like other people's families, cookouts and stuff, where the men have to be served first.
Oh yeah,
so
that's the thing.
That was a big thing on. I seen a couple big forums that were talking about who gets served first, the men or the children.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right? A couple big, and that's crazy. I mean, I'm serving the kids first. Sorry.
That's what I said, but
it should be the kids.
I'm just letting you know.
Because you got to stop them from playing and doing all the other stuff, because otherwise they won't eat. And you in your Red Cup Chronicles possibly, so you're gonna forget them if you wait until later. So like, the kids gotta eat.
Kids eat first.
Well, I mean, because you don't want the kids all picking through the food, and you want them to
and you don't want kids' hands.
Yes.
Bring it to them again, and like I said, kids got to eat first. I'm grown. I can wait. Like, so you bring me a plate first for kids. I'm knocking it on the floor. Like, what are you doing? Go feed the kids. Right. So I don't understand how it even. I get how people, and if they try to use the Bible with that and the order and all that, I'm like, I never say the Bible didn't say feed nobody first or second. I'm telling you.
No, that's all human add-ons.
But it's also
I'm like, feed them kids.
And it's also toxic, I think, when you know how you have the kid table and the adult table, but then they split the adult table between the people who are coupled up and married versus the single
and
adult.
Everybody should be together.
And then they have 2 separate kids tables. Kids,
I've seen this.
Much. Kids who come with both parents versus the one single parent. I just think
I ain't never seen that.
That's a lot of thought.
First of all, I'm cussing everybody out. Yeah, well, something wrong with them.
I don't even want to eat.
I know.
With you judgmental. Exactly. So I came by myself, and my kid can't sit with the kids of the 2-parent home.
They said, "Oh, we're doing it this way." They said we're doing it this way. I just remember being like 15.
Wait a minute. You're gonna knock the food over before you leave.
Nobody eating at this judgmental house.
You said nobody.
I just remember being like 15, 16 times. Like, oh, I finally made it to the teen table. And it was crazy. And then when you're an adult. It's just weird.
Sometimes
it's
the conversation may be different. I mean, I get a teen table because sometimes the conversation may be different if you got little ones, 5, 6, and 15, 16. I get that. I necessarily. I want my daughter around.
Right, but when
the conversation will be different. Yeah. So I get that.
But when it comes to you still dealing with this when you're like 25 and they're like, "Why are you sitting here? This is for all the married folk." I'm like, I'm grown. I'm here to eat too.
I mean, maybe they have a single table so all y'all can get together and know each other.
I wasn't single.
Listen, something wrong with your family then. We can't help them. We only got about an hour left. We ain't got enough time to help your family out today. But next show,
but it's not an issue now. I just bring but I start doing. I bring my own chair. My plate on my lap, bring my own
Well,
chair.
I always got my own chair because I don't know what your setup is like. And
Oh, true.
yeah, I got space issues anyway.
And,
But
I'm
you be
right
surprised.
here.
Toxic all the way around.
Yeah, the Joyous Family toxic barbecues.
Yeah, they got too many table rules. Like, how many tables you gotta make sure you in a big enough space just to deal with all of their rules.
So you're gonna need 29 tables, you said? 29?
29. You're gonna need the one with the enchiladas, you're gonna need the one with the mac and cheese, you're gonna need the one with the fried chicken.
And that's why when I do have stuff, I might have something, maybe next year, I have a little bit of everything. Because you just never know.
A little bit of everything, a whole bunch of toxicity.
Right. So can some of the things on the list be a part of a man's personality without being toxic?
Okay, well, you got to like being controlling because you had a lot on your list.
Remember,
like controlling or
the list, it all could be part of your personality as long as it's not to an extreme, right? It becomes a problem when it becomes an extreme toxicity.
But in moderation.
Well, again, so in anything you have, let's say like control. What are we talking about? Controlling finance, controlling. What are we talking about here? Because again, different things in relationship, I think different people may control. Like I'll say, like if I'm not good at the finance, I'm not gonna do finance. I'm like, yo, babe, you
but
got
sometimes
that.
People aren't good at these things, but still feel the need to control them.
So that's toxic in a bad way.
Yeah.
That's toxic in a bad way, right? That means that's a sickness. Like when you're gonna toxic the house away because you can't control it, you don't know how to do the budget. That's a problem.
That's funny
because you're inferior to even have that conversation, though, too.
Right?
Yes.
You're like, I can't have that conversation because then I'm gonna become more deficient on my own mindset and insecurities before I even start the conversation
with the person. That's true.
That's a whole bunch of issues before that. That's very, again, that's an issue. That's a real issue. If you're going to, just do something you can't do, and the question is, do you know you can't do it, or are you going to try to do it and fail? So I mean, that kind of to me would, if you do it thinking you can and you fail, I think I don't think that's as toxic as somebody who knows they can't do it and just.
But no, I'm thinking if you do it and you fail and you continue to do it, just
there you go. That's a problem.
You have to control it.
Okay, yeah, but what about if you don't ask for help from a partner, knowing they could help you?
So I think there's two parts of this toxicity because again, somebody has to let it happen, right? Somebody has to accept that this is continuing to happen. The lights keep getting turned off. You keep getting these eviction notices. It's a codependency there that allows this to happen, right? So if you're not saying like, hey, at a certain point, I got to step in because I'm not trying to lose the house and be out in the cold. And if you're just riding with it, if you're just that, toxic femininity that's said it's like you just go along with anything and you let it happen, it seems like it's a collaborative effort there, right? So you're kind of helping that masculinity be toxic and you're not doing anything about it, right? At a certain point, you got to get off that ship and help yourself.
But at some point, the other person can be like, oh, now you're controlling.
How? I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying sometimes when you do, if that's what's going on and you do put your foot down, then the other person can be like, why are you trying to control me?
Oh, that's manipulation.
It's a partnership. It is manipulation.
If you can't handle the money and the lights keep getting cut off, look, I don't care what you feel about it.
Exactly.
I'm taking control. I'm taking control.
Yes. So it either has to be, that's where the relationship got to come to a head, right? We have to be able to say either we're going to work together or I can't work with you, right? We have to be able to walk away from something that's not working. And a lot of times we stay in these toxic relationships because we love toxicity. We just love it. And that's a problem because I think you can't be toxic by yourself. You can't be toxic by yourself. But in relationships, you're allowing that person to be toxic if you're not really trying to do something to change it. And if you're not willing to walk away from it at a certain point, then that's what you're staying. You're part of the problem.
But what if you know this is a way of life?
Then you're okay with toxicity. You're like, this is my life. I'm gonna be in and out of in the dark for days. And all food out the refrigerator because it's spoiled again. Like, oh, here we go again.
But what makes us uncomfortable to even have those real talk conversations when we begin to see those patterns happening over and over again? Because it's only but so many times you can sit in the dark without confronting what's causing us to sit in the dark. Right.
No, that's if you confront it. See, we're like you said, we're under oppression. Like these toxic relations are going on for so long. That's because somebody's not confronting something, or they're confronting it in a way that there's no resolution. Right? Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it. We'll argue about it, have sex, and we'll go about our day. And we'll be back 2 weeks later, arguing and doing the same thing, and becomes
in the dark.
Yes, in the dark. Hey, it's dark already, so we'll argue about it. So what I'm saying is that and a lot of people just, like I said, like Cam kind of said, this becomes a way of life. They see they're cool with this toxicity. They're cool with this. This makes it almost makes it better for them, right? Because the highs are high. Like we argue like cats and dogs, but then we make love like it's that. You're fighting 1 minute, next minute like it's crazy. So that's what
I guess it changes.
It makes me think of a couple that I had. Like they were saying that they fight too much and they be distracted and all this other type of stuff. And now we doing this telehealth shenanigan. And so like they in the bedroom where one is sitting on a chair, the other one is across the bed in the nightgown, but then it's a fight happening outside. They talking about the fight in the session, but it's a fight happening outside. And I'm gonna just say one of the partners, I'm not gonna say which one, runs to the window and then says, okay, well, yo, such and such is doing this. And I said, well, are we in a session or are we in the community? Like which argument is most important? And that's the way that they normally function.
Yeah, Love and Hip Hop gonna win. That was Love and Hip Hop in reality outside their window.
It sure was.
They are really turning up.
It was really out here.
And listen, they got off that fessing with you, and they went to the highest highs again.
And I think so. I would
packing up the house and leaving, and ain't got no lamp in the living room because she done packed up the house and left again, and now she want to come back.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think that every couple likes it.
No,
I think that some people just feel unable to get out of it. They feel stuck.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yes.
It's still kind of it's an acceptance.
And a lot of that is the fear of the unknown, fear of being alone, not knowing how to get quote unquote back out there if they have to leave this particular relationship.
And survive financially, socially, emotionally, be accepted by their crew that they did something and that,
the old deal with the devil,
Yes.
Type mindset.
Yes.
So again, there's still acceptance there.
Yeah.
Because if you process all of that, you go down this checklist and say, you know what? It ain't worth it leaving because I might get something worse. You still had a checklist, even though it may not be rational, may not be the best mind. But you went through a checklist and you made an informed decision with what you had. There's an acceptance there.
Yes, I agree with that. Yes,
there is.
I've been working with someone whose partner has been cheating on them since before they got married.
Why they get married? That's their fault.
And she thought it was gonna change.
Yeah, that's their fault. I have no sympathy.
And so
eyes wide open. You had your eyes wide open going into it. They was coming in humping. What you thought was gonna happen?
You said coming in humping.
Coming
in humping.
So how is this for her? Is she like trying to get through it still?
And actually, it's interesting that you go right to about her. It's a man.
Oh, gotcha.
see how we be thinking.
Yeah, I know. All right. Always
Well, I don't blame him. He came in and he knew his eyes wide open.
Oh, now you thinking different.
No, same thing.
No, he came in humping.
Same thing.
Okay.
She came in humping, and you fool.
So is he trying to?
Yeah.
So is he trying to leave?
Yes, he's trying to get through it and trying to. That's why I said that some of it. Sometimes people don't get out because of the fear of the unknown, the fear of having to be back out there.
And she probably knows that.
And sometimes having that hope that things will change.
So I must say, if he's not leaving, I would think that there's, like I said, that he still has, he wants to be in it. He's hoping he's going to change. Because if we want to leave at a certain point, if we got to the point where we're going to get help, we're getting our out, right? We're making movement to get out. We're not contemplating movement. We put action to it. We're going to therapy, and you're telling him, we were talking through it, and he's still like, but you know what? She might stop. She hasn't in 7 years, but she might. Get out of here. He's saying for whatever reason, you know what I mean? And it's tough. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of other variables that he has to worry about. But at a certain point, like, he got to worry about his health, I think.
Amen.
And what I really fear is that with these days, who she's messing with may want her or come to the house and get her, and now you in some stuff that you didn't know, that you didn't ask.
Right.
That's what I'm really afraid of. People are so crazy today.
Yes.
They don't know how to keep the side joint as a side joint, main joint, and they come into your crib like I'm coming to get my girl. Yeah, I'm coming to get your wife.
Right.
Right. Tell us to come outside. We about to go, huh? Now you win something. That's what's really scary about that situation.
Yeah. Yes. And especially since it's not like an affair with one person. These are several different men.
So then they need to have a different conversation.
Ain't no conversation they need to have. Ain't no conversation they need to have. Ain't nothing they need to have. Because she's doing what she's doing already. He knows what it is.
Correct.
They have a conversation.
Correct. He walks into it and he has something that draws him to that. To be the enabler, or as you said, codependency. Like there's some value that he finds in being connected to all of this. So it's like that's what I'm saying. It's a different conversation for him to connect to. What is that behind all of this that makes you
probably that
comfortable?
Probably that.
Right. So if she's sharing it, but as long as I'm getting it, I'm good. I'm not saying he good, but I'm just,
right.
Sunshine between her legs.
You know what?
Ain't no sunshine.
And why does it always have to go to the sexual stuff though? When it comes to validating why certain undesirable, whatever it is, be it mental health,
that's a big part of
relationships or whatever.
That's a big part of stuff. That's why. Because sexual beings, and men are, especially men, are very sexual. A lot of men are very sexual. I would just think that would be a big part of it. I mean, I don't think she's flapjacks. Like, she cooking the best flapjacks on the East Coast. I don't think it's that. You know what I mean? Does she make more money if she carrying the relationship? Okay, so it's not that part either. So again,
but is she able to sustain herself independently, and is he concerned about that? Right. See, so he might be concerned about that, which that definitely comes from somewhere else in his life.
Yes.
They come from somewhere else in his life for free. Swipe your card.
He's worried about she can do what herself.
She's not able to take care of herself in the absence of his support.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, cool.
Even though a lot of people would say, let them other people take care of you.
I'm about to say she got more support than she know. That's a line herself.
Right.
She well supported from what I heard. She well supported in the streets. So he can lie to himself and use that, but in that case, she look like she out there getting it.
Getting it anyway.
Daryl, never underestimate a good flapjack.
Flapjacks are good.
Yeah, crispy and nice and round and crispy on the end.
Hey, you know what? You're right. Like, the way her crispy around, I can't let that go.
Flapjack,
nice bacon.
Yes.
Well, and it could be, it definitely sounds like more of a self-esteem type issue.
That too.
Actually, as a man, I can see in that situation where he feel like he got a woman that's really maybe very attracted to him, everything running, so he can't really let it go. I can see that being, because I had Beyonce, and she was out there in the streets. I might be like, look, all right, one more time. Let's try this. One more time.
Yeah, one more time.
You know what?
Yeah, and then again, it's one more time.
No, actually,
it's big one more time.
You got 4 more times.
Okay,
four more times.
Well, I know that you can't just change overnight, so I'm saying 4 more times.
Okay.
And then on the fourth time, oh, he got me this nice gift, or she got me this nice gift. All right, yep, I'm on, yeah, another 4 more times, 4 more again.
So again, and what happens, I think what happens as well is once you get in that situation, and she already knows that he's not going anywhere, right? So when it comes out, she can say, you know what, I'm going to try to change. That'll give him that hope. That'll get him through another month.
That's going to pull him right back in.
A month and a half, maybe get him through another year.
Yeah,
I don't know, because after a while, you know, depending on how much.
Well, it gets you through to the next one you find out about.
Exactly.
Right, correct.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
That's key, because it's the one you find out about. It ain't saying it ain't none in between time.
Oh no, right. It sounds like he's missing a lot. He's only catching a few. Okay? He's missing a lot. So
Daryl, you see Ruth's comment to you?
Listen, I'm not. What's his work husband? What's your work husband's work wife's name again? What's your work wife? Okay, all right. Her snake blackjack too. Mean blackjack. Called a friendship flapjack.
No, really?
Oh God, you go all the way throwback.
No. So that's very interesting that he allows that to happen, because he's really at this point allowing it to happen.
Yeah, and she knows, so she's gonna keep doing what she does.
Yeah. And because she has no reason
without any consequences.
She has no
without any consciousness either. Like it don't. Yeah, because we don't even know if she rolling out safely or she just rolling out raw. Like,
well,
she getting what she want.
I don't think there's any way to roll out safely, because you're leaving your house, right? So whatever you're doing could put you in jeopardy in a lot of different ways, right? It could put her in jeopardy in a lot of different ways, right?
So never mind. I was about to counteract. I'm good.
Depending who she's dealing with, he might be crazy and put her in a situation. So it may not just be protecting herself that way, but somebody might choke her out when she try to leave. You know what I mean? You're putting yourself in a position where I guess
you have to be unsafe at all times at that point.
Yeah, I think she has to go home. So somebody like, you ain't going home for 3 days. What you gonna do? Somebody, I can see another man maybe really trying to flex and like, you ain't going home. And that's where somebody, we talk about toxic masculinity, he might want to, show who he is. You ain't going home.
And roll up.
It gets you in I don't think there's any safe way to step outside your relationship.
Yeah.
I just don't think it is.
Okay.
I don't step out, so I don't know.
No, none of these ladies on this panel, not you guys. So everybody else.
Everybody else.
Not you guys. Everybody else.
So the one of being promiscuous, I think that is one that's perpetuated by women, because we always say a man's going to be a man. This is what men do. All men cheat. So we're like condoning it.
Well, I think women.
So then, are we really suffering, or are we really accepting?
Oh, I think we suffer in silence.
I don't know. I think that women use shame, right? They use shame, because men use more physical violence. Like, we're gonna beat somebody up, threaten you. Women use shame, so they're gonna, like, women shame each other more than men shame women. Women call each other, that, oh, she a hoe, she out there doing this and that. Oh, she a slut. Women do that more than men do, right? And women also say men are doing these things more than men. Like, us men, we're not like, yo, you a hoe, nigga. We don't do that. Like, we like, good job, you got another one. So I don't know if that's tough too, because women do a lot too. Like, women creep too a lot. They may not get caught as much, or maybe men don't see it as much, whatever the case may be. So those numbers being promiscuous, I think, are kind of go both ways. When it's talked about more than the other, I believe.
Yeah.
But I think men are usually less accepting. Men, you never hear men say that's what women do.
Oh yeah, no, because
women
absolutely not.
Yeah, men be like, you step out, that's it.
But they could have done all types of shenanigans. And you
Shenanigans.
just supposed to accept it.
They
Double
lawyers
standards,
and shit.
double standards are real.
Yes.
They are
yes.
There are
real.
double standards. There are real.
But don't
and
mean we
again,
gotta put up with it.
no, ain't nobody got put up with anything, but y'all do. So, but I'm saying double standards are real.
But we do.
Yes.
Yeah, most women do.
I think women do a lot with that one about promiscuity. I think women do a lot.
Absolutely.
Or I've seen this. Oh, he cheated on me, but he come home every night. Man, like somebody else. But anyway, yeah.
What time he come home? He come home at 2:00 in the morning, and you good with that?
He came home. He came home.
Right,
Some people,
right.
men didn't come
That's what
home.
women say. He came
Some
home.
women, some women, men ain't come home.
Sometimes okay.
Right, but that's what
You
what
can
they
stay
have.
you can stay where you was at.
They have that's like rationalize it in their head
Don't come
though.
home. Don't come home.
Right, but that was like, well, he
Unless you
came in
can show
late.
me that your work schedule say that these is your hours and this the time you.
Oh, I was working.
Yeah, okay. You lying.
You was working something else.
You was working. Yeah. You was working on your pump.
I worked the hell out of my shift tonight.
But that's how I think some women rationalize it, like Derek was saying. Oh, but he comes home every night. He came home late, but he came home.
And he give me the money for the house.
Oh, somebody got to pay for it.
I shouldn't laugh.
Watch the kids when I go grocery shopping.
Somebody got to watch them, don't they?
You ain't watching them. You just at home.
Yeah.
So are you. When you at home, you watching them just like we watching them.
Okay, they shooting by this window. I'll be right back.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be back. I'm here, but yeah, I'll be right back.
That's not fireworks.
You
let me
keep
see
the camera
the
on so we can see somebody. You go into the window and look. That's how you get shot in the head. Don't go to the window and look.
No, I was sitting at the window. I'm not looking out that window.
Gotcha.
Jeez.
So I mean, it goes. I think a lot of that comes back to that back in the day when men worked, women were home, and men was out all day and they were doing things, and women didn't have access to finance, so they kind of had to put up with it, right? Today things are a little different.
Yeah.
Today things a little different because women make money. Women don't need to be around as much as more. Like, okay, well, I can leave. Like, we're independent women. They don't need nobody. They can just leave. So I think that things are changing a lot, right? Because women don't. But it's tough now because now relationships are a lot different because people are just leaving for the littlest things because they have access to their own money. So now we can leave. Like I don't like the way you put the corner supposed to be out. I'm out.
Yes,
we're done.
Yes,
people just leave relationships I see today for the most trivial things.
Yeah.
I don't like how you talk to me. You was disrespectful.
But that's different.
But sometimes they're not really saying they've been dealing with a lot, and then when that one
last 10 years.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about people in relationships will get out of relationships really. Like I see a lot of people flip-flopping out of relationships and they're over the smallest things.
You're talking about the people who don't want to do the work.
Right.
Like how can you ever get to the next point if you don't go through some things? Right.
But if they've never learned that that's what they're supposed to do, like they not.
I'm saying today that's not a thing today, right? I think.
But what if the little things turn into these bigger things? It turns into their struggle love.
Well, I don't know what struggle. Or you mean struggle love? I think all love there's going to be some. I mean, if you bring two things that are different together, there's going to be a learning curve, right? And it's not going to change. So it's not going to be smooth. I think you're going to have to give up some things. They're going to have to give up some things. You're going to have to read some things maybe that you're not used to because you have to make sure you make room for your partner. And I know for me, that was a big problem I had because I'm doing everything I want to do. I want to go to the gym. I want to play volleyball. I want to do podcasts. I want to do this. Ain't no room for nothing else. So she's like, well, where I fit in at? Well, from 12:30 to 1 o'clock.
2:30.
Before I go to sleep, I got time. So I had to adjust and say, you know what? I can't do everything I want because it's about us now. So I have to. So there's a struggle for me. It is, but there's a struggle for me to give up some of these things.
It's hard to come out of us. You be like us. We together. That's us.
I think our mental is like, I really don't want to give all this up anyway. So the first thing they do wrong, I'm out. First thing they do wrong, oh girl, I don't like that much peanut butter on my peanut butter and jelly. I'm out. Too much peanut butter.
I gotta get a divorce.
Yeah, I gotta go. We're getting divorced. We're not even getting there because this is 6 months and I'm done because of something really trivial. We don't go through things to help us build. We have to go through some fires to build a relationship to know that we're going to be there, right? Because if I don't know you're going to be there until something comes up and then you're like, I can't handle it, I'm not going to be there, that's tough. These things are learned through experiences. And so we have to go through some things. And I'm not saying go through cheating and punching people in the face. I'm not saying to extremes. No. But if some things, like for me, I had to, like said, it's playing volleyball, 3 nights a weweek. I got to cut it down. You're laughing. Like, this hurt me to cut it down.
I know it did.
One night. Like, it was like, God, I'm sitting at home like
it took a piece of you, right? It took a piece of you.
I could be hitting the ball.
I could be playing volleyball right now.
Yeah. We want to go to your mom's house. I'm like, I'm at your mom. Hey, how you doing? Not in the best of moods because I want to be there. But I had, so it was a learning curve that has to happen. So I think all relationships, you're going to have some struggle, right? Or some strife that you guys are going to get through. And if you make it through it, I think you come out on the other side better and stronger. It's strengthening. It's that workout, that practice before you go to the real thing. So I think there's going to be some struggle needed. I think, go camp.
What is you doing, camp?
I was just.
She was dance with me.
I could dance by myself, but
you could, but you're rather with me. I was doing this, and I see her doing this too. She was in tune with my motion, my vibration.
Really?
I see.
I'm not that emotionally available to most people.
To most people, you're right. To most, there are exceptions.
I can't.
You're silly.
So like you do something, you're available to your partner all the time, but then you end up losing a part of yourself, and the fact that you made this role of coping with the other person. I just realized my TV was on.
Well, okay, so when that happens, do you sneak and start, like you said, your volleyball? So like I love to craft, that was my thing. So what I would sometimes do was bring the crafts along. If we were doing something, I would be sitting there sewing or doing something.
He knitting under the table.
And we would be like at dinner, like be somewhere, and he'd be like, "What you doing?" I said, "I just got my little thing along to finish it." And he was like, "Really?" I said, "Well, this is my time. I'm normally sewing and knitting or crocheting, something, making something." And it was just like it felt so. I felt like a piece of me was just. I had to bring it along one time to feel at ease, to feel comfortable with switching my schedule around. When you have stuff that's planned, it's hard.
Well, it's tough because if it was a child, you would switch your schedule around with no problem, right? Because you would have to. Because this thing has to depend on you. So certain things I can't do because tonight I was late tonight, and I'm not usually late, but I'm late tonight because my daughter's going to come first. So whatever she has to do, I'm going to try to do for her. She's going to whatever I'm going to do for her. I don't sometimes do the same thing in a relationship. I don't give it that much credence. Like I won't switch everything up for someone else, which could be a problem down the line, which I have to work on because I have to give that same type of energy to someone I want to be with. I can't be all of me if I'm with someone else because I got to make room for them. I always have to make room for them. So certain things I do have to maybe change or like say volleyball or something. It's no way around it. Like if I can find another time to play, like doing work, I'll do it doing work. But ain't no leading doing work, but you have to make room for that person. I just believe that you have to make room.
So what do you guys think about the idea of dominance and submissive? Being dominance and submission?
Well, it has to be.
I saw that in a couple of other groups too.
I mean, there has to be a dominant and submissive. There has to be. There's nothing that has.
But does it always have to be? I mean, doesn't it go up and down and change from time to time depending on what the issue or subject is?
So what I would say was, like I kind of said before, I want the best out of whatever I'm doing. So I'm in whatever I'm doing. If I'm on a basketball team, If you're the best center, you're going to play center. I'm not going to be center. I can't be. If I try to be center, that's just silly. So my relationship is the same. If she's better at handling something or doing something, then that should be what she should do. If I'm better at doing something, that's what I should do. That's how I look at things. I don't think.
But how do you get to that conversation to feel comfortable to separate what people do better?
So, I mean, I think you're having this conversation after you've been with somebody a while. I'm not having it the first month. I don't know you like that. I think that's a conversation that comes as we've been together for a little bit and we're really like, you know what, we're getting serious. And this is what I want in a mate. Like, what are you good at? What do you do? I'm not, and it comes with a person knowing themselves, right? I have to know me first, right? I have to know that I'm not good at finance. Or she's a finance major. Obviously, she might be better at finance. So maybe so it comes with honesty within yourself first. Because if you don't know really what it is, then you're out there making mistakes. Now, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes if we can fix the mistake and not continue, like I said, continue the mistake. Like I keep messing up the bills, keep messing up the bills. At a certain point, we got to say, hey, look, step in, help with the bills, or we're gonna lose everything. So it takes both people kind of being able to. I guess you got to create that space in a relationship.
Yes,
where you can talk
because
to each
a toxic person might not be able to be open to that conversation, or the submissive person may not be able to initiate that conversation.
True. Absolutely.
For fear of being shut down or all the other things that play a part in what has their relationship not balanced in the beginning.
But I think that, and I had this a lot, right? Because I'm very opinionated, right? And I'm very strong with my opinion.
What? Are you really?
Really?
Oh, wow. Let me. Really?
Opinionated?
So
never experienced that at all.
I don't really do it a lot on here, right? What I've learned is I tell people all the time, if we're talking about something and I'm opinionated and I'm on my point and I'm saying this is what I believe, don't let that mute you, right? I'm not trying to force my opinion on you, but this is what I believe. You can definitely tell me what you believe as well. Don't not tell me what you believe because I try to remember sometimes I relax, don't get, but sometimes I will, but I always tell them from the beginning, express your point, say what you have to say. Like, I'm open. It may not seem that way, but I definitely am open. I'm listening. We can have a dialogue about it. But I probably, if I really believe in my point and I don't see, which I may not change what I say, it doesn't mean I think you're wrong. I mean, I just don't agree. So I have that conversation with people. I learned that about me, like through relationships and people not talking to me, actually, not letting people be in a fear of talking. Because I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna come back with something else. I'm like, oh, word. So once I learned that, I'm like, listen, I do this sometimes, and you can tell me stop. You're doing it. You're going in a tangent. Whatever. Let me know that.
So Doc, is he telling us that we can tell him stop? He doing it again?
Yes, that's what he just said.
Guys,
That's what he said.
I just wanted to make sure that's what we heard.
That's what he said.
Yep. Muted on this program. What are you talking about? I think I'm the only person who's been muted
and taken off the screen.
Taken off the screen. This is crazy.
You want to know why? Because of that right there.
Around.
Oh man.
So I think that sometimes people have these extreme views, like you said, Daryl, of what being a man is, or being dominant means, or what being submissive means in a relationship.
Yes.
And when they're extreme, they can become toxic.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it toxic, is that it's like an extreme difference of opinion. Like extreme.
And I don't know if it's even an opinion at that point, because usually this is law.
Yes.
It's not an opinion. This is law. This is how it's going to be. And that's a problem. And it's funny, my friend was talking the other day, like, I told her she had to be home. I said, she had to be home. So what is going on over there? How old is she? Like, is she grown? why are you telling her what she has to be home? Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he had that very remedial type of looking at relationships where he would control everything. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like, we're supposed to be better than this.
Wow.
I guess it's just not we.
Exactly.
But it's weird.
Or
And
you gotta
around
be
here,
home
this
before
is
10
what's the
o'clock.
expectation, huh?
Or you gotta be home before 10 o'clock. I don't know, I just had girlfriends. You know, you just going out to eat with your girlfriends, but you can't schedule it. Always gotta be mid-afternoon, not evening. Because you gotta be back before 10.
Mm-mm.
Well, then I might ask her questions like, is there a reason why that's in place? Because she might be like the other girl was out hitting the streets, and now they came to the agreement like, ain't nothing open after 10 o'clock, the leg, so be home at 10.
I thought that started at 2.
Yeah, not 10.
Right. 10, you still at restaurants till midnight.
Right. To be honest, you still got
home
drinks
at
and
10.
food.
You gotta be home.
My food's still digesting with my after food drink.
That's cool.
And my dessert.
And my dessert.
It better digest in this house.
Yeah, that's what that work.
You're gonna digest right here next to me. Like, oh, look at your stomach bubbling, girl. You need something, Pat? But sometimes we have to ask those questions too. We can't just put people in boxes like, well, I hate doing that. It may be a reason they're doing that. Maybe a reason she got to be home by 10. Maybe he got to go to work at 12, and he needs her to be home at 10 so he can get 2 hours sleep because she got to watch the kids because he let her go out.
That makes sense. Let her go out.
He let her go out. You can't justify that word. Let.
Listen. Whatever
it was a
triggers
communication that happened. It was on the couple's calendar.
Whatever
and I was hanging out with my friends.
Whatever triggered you guys. Whatever triggered you. Whatever words work for you.
Let.
I'm going to say I'm a let because
you ain't let me doing nothing because I'm grown.
I'm pretty sure you should have found a babysitter then. If not, if I had to watch them, and I let you go out so that I can go to sleep to go to work at 12. Yes. So I can go to sleep. So that's
I don't have those issues, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, you had to put them kids to bed.
Right? Before you go out.
Listen, I don't know what world y'all live in. If someone just said, it's not even that serious, I'm like, oh, I'll let you do this. She's like,
let.
Let. No, you're not letting me do nothing.
Allowed?
Yeah. You ain't allowed me to do nothing.
You done triggered some things there.
Here, stop playing games.
You snatching souls. You snatching souls.
Let me
souls.
Let me bring it. Y'all both been let or allowed to do things at times. Like, I let you do something. And again, it's all in the scheme of things. It's not even in the negative sense. It's like, yo, you want to go out? Cool. I'll let you go out if you're back by 10 o'clock because I need to go to work at 12. I need 2 hours
of sleep. That's the problem. If I'll let you go out if.
It's so conditional.
If not, it is conditional. Cause I gotta
and I hear you, Gerald, that there's a work schedule thing. Like, I hear you saying that it's a work schedule thing in there, but it's just the wording. Like, it can still be worded differently to not become toxic.
Guess what? It's not worded differently. This is how it's going to be worded.
You trying to steal somebody's soul.
This is how it's going to be worded.
You trying to steal somebody's soul.
Okay.
Because now, if I ain't feeling you right now, I'm going to be passive-aggressive, and I ain't coming in till 11:59 and a half.
Oh, we done. It's cool.
We're not going to be done on the one thing. You're going to be just like Doc's couple coming in and talking about.
I got options. I know, but that fool, I got options. Okay? His body is made to go. I got options. So
it's more than the body than what people are attracted to.
These women are flocking to the body.
That's why you're right.
I'm just telling you what they're flocking to. I'm just telling you. They're like, oh, look at them.
So is that somebody?
And then when you become so opinionated, flipping your hair, they'd be like deuces.
That doesn't happen either. They love it. They just love all of this. I'm saying it's just ridiculous.
So
it's not my fault. It's not
this fueling your behavior?
It is. And we must be the conductor of it.
Do you see me with the mirror? Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is what it is. So I'm good. I don't have to worry about that. So I don't have those issues. I'm not, again, if you want to do your thing.
Is this the girl show? Just like, was it a hair show earlier?
I was wondering. I didn't understand. I was talking about hair for so long.
Wow.
I think too that if I say I let you go somewhere, you should know what it means. If you're triggered by the word, and I'm saying you're using a negative connotation, like
Campy won't let it go.
I'm not gonna let it go. What? Now I gotta let it go. Now I gotta let it go.
Because you're not gonna let it go, so it don't even matter.
So you're telling me what to do. You
told me what to do. You told me what to do and gave me a curfew as a grown ass woman.
Absolutely. And again, if you don't want to abide by the contract, it is null and void.
And a
roll out. Get out the house.
Deuces. You understand? Stay where you. Hey,
but that sounds like a father to a child.
Exactly.
Adult to adult.
I'm gonna take it how you want it. Okay? If you want to go out.
Oh, here we go. Take my way or the highway. Take it or leave it.
That's what I right, Doc.
Listen,
Doc,
I got work. I got work. Okay? You know what's toxic is you playing with me and I gotta go to work. I'm trying to let you go out. I'm trying to let you go out.
Oh, you're trying to. You're trying to.
I'm trying to let you out.
I'm trying to do letting you go out to the club.
Letting you go out.
Go out. I'm letting you go out.
First of all, you ain't going to no club and gotta be home at 10. That's not club material.
You're going to McDonald's.
No, you might as well just stay home.
Right.
Hey, you should have these kids in. You worry about going out. Okay? So again, I'm home.
Oh, you can't tell me because I have kids, I can't go out. That's crazy.
I can tell you that. I got work at 12. I'm only going to operate on 2 hours of sleep. I'm asking for 2 hours of sleep, and you worry about word let. How about let you get out my face? Now I'm mad.
I'm gonna be out your face, and you gonna have to call out from work.
That's fine. It's only happened one time.
It might happen more than once.
No, it won't. Bye, birdie. See you.
That means you're not. Are you willing to compromise and have a conversation?
No, who would do that in Daryl's world? Compromise.
Wait a minute.
To have a conversation about
we're talking about 2 hours so I can go to sleep, and you're talking about compromise. Typical. It's typical. Who's not compromising?
I don't get to go out often, and now you tell me what time I gotta go be back.
You're stifling me. You're limiting my interaction.
I was as an individual. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. You crossed the line because I'm not an individual no more.
I get it. You're right. I'm stifling you. Go find some hours and go stifle you. I'm good. Have a good one.
That goes along with your need. Your partner needs or become first. Your partner needs it first.
Right.
What needs? I think I'm breaking up. I'm not sure because mine is.
You've been breaking up since you've been on.
Yes.
Okay.
I put it in the private chat, but since it ain't private no more,
y'all are funny.
Yeah, like it's really, mine's really like.
Yeah, I put it in the private chat to let you know personally that you was breaking up.
I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know.
I guess we let you stay on.
Yes, we let me stay on. Yeah.
That was a good one.
That
was good. Not even that funny.
It is funny. Don't be mad.
That's funny. All right, so let's switch.
Wait. I want to go back because we had a compromise that I asked her to do one thing, but they were saying I wasn't compromising because it wasn't the way she wanted it. Is that what we said? Oh, can I use the word let? Is that what we're doing? Are we majoring in the minors? Is that what we're doing? This is the problem. This is what gets on people's nerves.
Are we micromanaging you?
Absolutely, you are.
That's toxic.
Absolutely, you are micromanaging me because you're going out when you know I got work at 12. I'm only asking for 2 hours of sleep. Please think about the other party and not just think about yourself trying to get out there and have hot.
But if it was on the other foot, you wouldn't ask to go out. You would go out anyway, even if you had to work. And I still would stay home and have to keep the kids. And I'm tired still. And
And you going to work at 12 is overtime, and I can never get no time to go out because you always taking this overtime on a Friday night.
It's about a balance in life.
Because the bills need to get paid. You don't make enough, so
the bills are paid. And we have savings.
All of this is superficial arguments that come into counseling that is just a cover of what the real issues are. But you don't want to talk about the real issues, so you're going to talk about the work schedule, and you went out with your friends, and the word let. You not even let me
woman.
talk.
Does he ever let anybody talk? Maybe Coco Licious, but they don't let nobody else talk.
Nagging women. That's what it should be. Nagging.
Oh, I
women.
don't nag. I'm quiet. Trust me.
You don't. You nag.
Oh, you saying I nag? I don't.
Yes.
I just.
You do.
I don't.
Maybe I'm a nag to you.
Only person who doesn't nag. See, Doc, she's sitting there. She's listening. There you go. That shows you she's calm.
That's her way. You know what? That's Doc's way of coping with you.
No, she's calm.
Yeah,
that's way of coping with you.
That she didn't learn.
Tolerating you. That's a difference.
You know what? Don't try to put some negative. Don't give her that negativity.
I don't know. You don't have to be negative. I can positively tolerate you.
That's
negative. How your day was today. It's not negative. Trust me.
So Doc she's listening to the argument. Doc is listening to the argument.
Pointing is rude. He did this.
Yeah.
Doc is
very
listening
rude
to the argument. Nagging again. Doc is listening to the argument. She's formulating her thoughts. And she's gonna come back with a thought that's just very groundbreaking. Instead of
but when you say women, nag,
like why are we still talking and not doing closing comments?
But when you say when women nag, that's a toxic way. I don't want to listen to you right now, so just be quiet.
Exactly.
You talk about women nag.
You're right.
STFU.
Yes.
Right. Yes, you nag. That's what it means. You're nagging because I was trying to do what I could to help you go out.
Oh, now you're trying to talk.
Now you
want to be heard.
Well, I don't want to be heard because I said go out. I said be back by 10. So I let you go out.
And that's not happening. So find a babysitter like you told me. Find a babysitter.
I'm going to find a babysitter. You find a new man. How about that?
Oh, that works too.
Good. How about that? I bet you I'll find a woman before.
Because you wasn't the man I needed anyway. So then, like, I could just find another one.
You're right. Please do so. I have a woman ready.
But hopefully, he's not the father of the kids because that means I would have to continue to co-parent.
Right.
We can co-parent
and still deal with the nagging.
No. You co-parent. You can come in as late as you want at that point because I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. Yeah. Co-parent all we want. You know that you can come in whenever you want. The streets is for you at that point. Hot girl summer, back in action.
Doc, what you thinking?
No, I was just looking at some things that talked about other ways that toxic masculinity shows up in relationships. And one that we hadn't touched on was the idea that your body belongs to your partner, not yourself. I thought that was very interesting.
And that's kind of biblical too, right? That comes almost biblical. When they say your body's not yours, it's your, but each partner owns the other person's body.
Right.
Own.
Whose is this? Who is this?
You understand? Whose is it? Whose is it? That's right. Yes, own. When you have a contract or something, girl, something back of that. That's right. When you sign a contract, you own something, right? So when you get married, you're owned.
Yeah, that's under the colonized way of getting married. But anyhow,
listen, I don't care what ways. Either way, whoever you do it, you still are that person.
You don't have to sign nothing. Just know when you born,
you really don't.
Social Security number, the government already owns.
No. A contract is not always signed. It can be verbal, a handshake, or
I know
this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. So what I'm saying,
I just said it.
So what I'm saying is it's still the same. So you said nothing because it's still the same thing. You're still owned at that point.
No, you're saying what I already said. That's what I said.
No, I'm saying but you're still owned at the end of the day. You're still owned, right? They still own you at that point? Okay, that's all I want to know.
My partner will not own me.
You're owned by the government.
Yes, he will own you. He will.
No, he won't.
Well, then no partner. Because you should own each other.
No.
Own each other? Okay.
Well, that's what it is.
No, the problem is that you follow. Shut up, Mary May. No,
don't you shut up. You talk, girl.
No,
let's go.
No.
I'm listening. We ready.
No.
Let's go.
No.
So I thought, they're talking about all the ways that your partner can decide what you do with your body, like tattoos, clothes you wear, piercings, your hairstyle.
Business.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. That's a lot. That is too much. I'm trying to
But that's
micromanage
what
what you do
happens
with your
in
body.
everyday life.
Right.
And every day.
Every day.
Yeah, this
How
happens
you get
every
your hair
day.
done, how you get your nails done, how you go to work, how
What
you
they
drive, what
prefer.
car you drive, if you was able to buy this car, not buy this car, how much you saving.
It does happen, but I don't think it happens in the
Every
numbers
day.
that, like,
Here
it
we
does happen to
go.
some
It's
people every
every
day.
day.
It does happen to some people every day, but it's not. It's the small population is not the majority.
Oh
So I can
gosh.
see
You'd
that.
be
But I can see
surprised.
it's not everybody. I won't be surprised because I know it's not the majority.
No, it's not
I know
everybody, but this stuff happens every
that.
day.
Absolutely.
Doc,
There's
is your
some people
question. What you think? Is it every day?
landed on the moon too. Again, that everybody landed on the moon. Everybody went to the moon. No, they didn't. Some people did.
Oh
Not
my
everybody.
God.
Small population. These things do happen.
And relationship flow audience, we text to make sure that he was safe and coming on tonight.
And he showed up.
And he showed up
Yes.
with his commitment and self.
Listen, I'm just saying. I think that these things do happen. But I don't think it's like there's sick people out there that do these type of things.
I think it happens often.
Yes, Ruth. How did this
subtly.
happen?
I think subtly. From you telling your partner, don't eat that because it's too many calories, or because you're concerned about their weight. They might not be concerned about their weight, but you're concerned about their weight, so you're telling them what to eat.
Because you have an image to protect.
But I mean, how many people are doing this? How many are actually doing that? First of all, with these independent women today, you can't tell them much of nothing. So I don't know who I see people.
It doesn't mean that people don't try.
Okay, I just don't think it happens as much as you guys say it happens. This thing where we have these crazy dysfunctional.
Well, but think about it. Even if it doesn't happen with your partner, it can happen on social media.
I don't think it's always seen as crazy or dysfunctional.
What's that, Camp?
When
I said sometimes it doesn't happen with your partner. It can happen on social media. It happens all the time.
It can happen at work.
Yeah, it works. So, for example, if I have on some, I'm smaller, but if I have on something that's too tight, and I got, I'm showing my rolls, I think I'm cute. Somebody was like, you should wear something a bigger size. Somebody was like, you should wear something more appropriate. Why did you post that picture? A family member is gonna come in my DMs and be like, you might want to take that picture down. I'm just saying, it happens.
I don't know.
Every day.
Maybe who you deal with. Ain't nobody checking me on nothing. So I don't know. I'm not used to it.
Even if they don't check you, they try. Like Doc said.
No. I'm saying. Try. Ain't nobody trying because I'm going.
Okay.
I don't see people doing that on a regular basis. Like I may think a lot of things. But I ain't saying half the things I think.
Well, on here you say stuff you say, but yeah.
I say what I feel. This is real.
I mean, it doesn't.
I'm sorry. So if I say something about weight, that's a problem in a relationship.
It can be.
It can be. Yeah.
We already know you saying something.
I'm saying, how can it be if I'm trying to help you control your weight?
It's how you say it.
It's how you say it.
And he doesn't do it.
I mean, the reality is, if she wants to control her weight, she knows how to do it. She don't need you to tell her.
She don't. Obviously, she don't. She don't. I mean, it's clear she don't.
But I can see Daryl saying maybe you should slow down on the potato chips. I could just see it.
I'm gonna say,
I can see him say something like that.
Chips. You can't afford any more potato chips. What I'm saying.
Right. So I can see you saying that, not to be funny, but I could just see you saying that it's a general, like a matter of fact type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
This is what it is. I'm gonna let you know.
Right.
If I work out to
like
look good
you would say, right? You work out and you eat healthy.
You need to work out to look good for me.
Right. I can see you saying it.
Yeah, that's just me.
That's what I'm saying in general.
Okay.
That's what I would want. Again, that's not me trying to control you. I want to look at something that I want to look at. Right. That's what I want at this point. And I'm doing this work, and people are looking at me, and you get to be like, oh, look at him.
But if she feels like she can't have control over her body and eat whatever she wants, then that's a problem for her. Yeah, right.
It's a problem for us.
Right. No. She's not for you.
Hey, yes. Good luck. Hey, good luck. Let them tell her. Good luck.
Because it could lead to her feeling like her body's not hers.
I you, Ruth. I get it.
Yeah. So I think it's okay to point out certain things, but I don't think it's like, oh, you can't get no tattoos. I think people say stuff like that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yes,
talking about they can't get a tattoo. You know, I mean, but I think I understand people do these things. I don't see it. You know, I don't know too many people. Yeah, I don't know anybody who's doing that, like really.
That dress is too tight for you to wear if you going to my boys' cookout with me.
No, I'm like.
But when I was dating you, I wore this.
Yeah, that's weird.
You're married now? What changes?
That would be my problem with that too. Like if you came in that way, how am I tell you not to?
Yeah.
Right? That's to me is silly. You feel me? And if you're that insecure, then you might as well just get rid of her and get a dog, because that's the only thing gonna be loyalty that keeps coming. Because ain't nobody need to put up with that. Anybody need to put up with, you got to jump through hoops, or you got to dumb yourself down so they feel better. That's just silly. Yeah, that's right. Dad trying to help out. hey, look. Put on that first meeting 25. I think that, like you said, it's how you say it, and it shouldn't be you shouldn't badger people either.
Right, where it's coming from. Because some people do use it as a form of control, but then some people are really coming from a genuine place of concern.
Yes. I just, Dad was looking out 100. It's funny, a girl was just telling me her and her boyfriend were going through it, and they both called each other fat. And it was really messing with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, y'all really talk to yourself like that? And they do. But obviously they stay together. It's crazy. But that's how they talk to each other, and they get mad. You fat bitch. I'm like, whoa.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I should say that's different.
But that's that. But that's that. Yeah. But that's that. It's almost like it's acceptable. Like you're accepting this way of
a term of endearment.
Dealing with each other this way. But it's really hurting you because you're really messed up about it because you have issues with your body anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm like, why would you allow that? But I think that's the control.
And I think that's what also makes it toxic, when somebody exploits something that they know that you already have issues with.
Insecurity about.
Yeah.
And I think that's how they keep them around. They keep them around like nobody wants your fat ass.
Yes.
That type of stuff will keep them around.
Yes.
People do say that. No, people say that.
Or you got all these kids, ain't nobody else gonna want you with all these kids.
Man, don't believe that. Don't believe it. I know people with 8 kids found somebody else that married them.
Yeah, I mean, that's an outlier. That's not
most of the time. Everything ain't no freaking outlier. Here you go, Chris. That's an outlier. That's an outlier.
Nobody's actually checking for Joan with 8 kids.
There's an outlier.
Not just
when you say that, I'm always, but you only say that with me in April. Oh, that's an outlier.
No, I said anything that is people like, anything that smiles like something happens all the time. Like, again, everybody goes to the moon. No, they don't. Certain people.
I guess we live in different worlds.
But we're still trying to figure out, how did the moon get into this?
Right.
Just an analogy to show that only a few people on the moon. If we kind of say, if we're bringing the moon up and say a whole bunch of people to the moon because one person went there, you can't do it. That's what happens here a lot. We'll say, like, who's checking?
Daryl, what's with you in these statistics these last couple weeks? Like, you just got so statistic. You all research for the show.
100% I do. I want to make sure what I say is factual. Like I said, tonight I said with the black fathers, I don't have any data on it, but I feel like I know all these black fathers that are very involved. I don't know.
They are.
That's an outlier.
It may be. It may be. You know what I mean? It may be very anecdotal, but I don't know that. But I hope it's not true from what I see. I will look that up. But a lot of times, like I said, ain't a whole bunch of people out here checking with women with 8 kids. This is not nobody's doing that. You got a whole basketball team that you got to take care of. You coming
Sometimes
anyway.
when men are homeless and in need of a secure home,
wow.
they will deal with a whole bunch
Yeah.
of children,
Wow.
and they know that you could cook because there's no way possible that you could have had 8 children with someone or some people, and those kids got to eat, so you cooking.
Right.
Even those men are looking for women with 2 kids, maybe 8 is a lot. So you have options. You don't have to jump to 8. You can jump to 1 or 2, 3. You know, 3 will stick it.
Average 4 or 5.
You know what I mean? You don't have to jump to 8. Like nobody's jumping in that. Just unless you
You'd
really
be surprised.
I
You'd be
would be.
surprised.
I would be surprised because 8 kids, my G. Like you got a home that you ain't got nowhere to stay at now because all the kids in the bedroom with y'all. Like I get it. Somebody might do it. I think everybody's signing up for that. That's a lot of work.
You sign up for things that's on survival when you need somewhere to stay.
I hear you. As I said, it does happen. I'm not saying it's just running rampant out here, like running at 8 joy. Talk to him.
That's why I said bring it down to 5. 4 or 5.
Daryl, you invited your bullies to come to the show.
I invite anybody. I'm just telling you, I'm a who are you? That's good money. It's probably the people I ain't talking sense. But I'm just saying, sometimes we just go to the far ends of
Extreme, the outlier.
Yeah. Sometimes, and I'm like, let's
but it's a part of the conversation because people represent all
facets of life.
We do, but sometimes I don't want to get caught in not dealing with the majority sometimes, and then just making these things that are very anecdotal or the outliers, make them seem like that's what's happening all the time. And I think
is that what makes you so opinionated?
What makes me so opinionated?
I'm asking, is that what makes you so opinionated?
That's a valid question.
What? Having facts? What makes me opinionated?
It's not always facts.
Being right? What are you talking about?
You're trying to be right. You're trying to be right.
Oh, you're right. I mean, we usually,
You gonna answer the question?
He can't answer the question but laughing.
Because I'm not opinionated. I mean, I have to speak on what I know.
That's funny.
I speak from
that is hilarious right there.
I know, right?
All should be laughing at
He
that.
says I'm not opinionated. He's not opinionated.
He just said he was opinionated and got to watch it, but now 15, 20 minutes later.
I was in this right here, I just bring facts. Stone or hardcore facts.
Doc, what other questions you got?
I like Doc. Yeah, she's listening.
I don't have any others.
You like Doc this week because she's listening.
She listens, and then she's gonna come back.
Not to be quiet because she's ignoring you. There's all kinds of factors in it.
Doc is ignoring all of us. Okay. Whatever's going on over there is outdoing whatever's going on here. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
So do we have any closing comments for this lovely conversation or any questions from our viewers who are with us at this time? We know it's a delay, so, type in. Or closing comments from the panel, from our crew, our sip and chat crew.
Oh, Derek can go. He's very opinionated.
You allowing me to go?
No,
I ain't say that at all.
I just said you could go.
I just spoke to the person who told me I can go. I mean, I have permission to go. Because, I mean, we get stuck on words here. She let me go. She allowed me to go. So, but I want to, masculinity in itself is not bad. I know we talked about toxic masculinity. Masculinity in itself is not a bad thing. But when it does get to those fringe edges where, the control, that's what becomes a problem. Where it becomes, the objectifying women, some of the things that happen, that's where it becomes a real problem. But I just wanted to put out there, don't think masculinity is a bad thing, because men have to be masculine, I think. That's just part of us, so I don't, sometimes I feel like the masculinity, the toxic masculinity is trying to erase a masculinity altogether. It's trying to take away what makes men, and and that's not a good thing. So we definitely have to teach what positive masculinity is. We definitely instead of always, we talk about the toxic part, but I think they need to flip it and say, well, look, let's talk about some of the positive attributes of masculinity. And or femininity as well. The same thing. Let's talk about these things and promote them instead of always talking about the negative.
Okay. I think those are good closing words.
I do.
Look at that. See that? See, look. Told you.
And I think that they should just communicate, like as things change, as you grow, realize that the imbalances that people refer to as toxic can happen in friendships, can happen in family, professional. It's not always an intimate relationship only. And knowing yourself, don't lose yourself in the midst of relating with other people.
Everybody needs to go and get some counseling, to be honest.
Yes.
And I'm being 100% honest. You need to go and kind of understand yourself, maybe some things that are underlying things that are laying there. That I think that would help a lot of people out. It would help a lot of us out to go get that help.
I think one thing that's sometimes missing in these relationships is the idea that you can't be assertive.
Get out of there.
Because people think of assertiveness as aggression or in a negative way. And you can be assertive in communicating your needs, and you can set boundaries. It's okay. It is okay. Those are the things that make your relationship stronger and healthier.
Right.
And those are the things that help prevent toxicity.
Absolutely. Talk.
And be real. Assertiveness is not aggression. It's not starting stuff or causing conflict. You can tell your partner what it is you like, don't like, want to do, don't want to do. It's okay.
And try to have a conversation where you're not in an argument. A day that everything is going good. Hey, look, you know what? I've been thinking about this. Because it might be received better. And then also, like I said, for me, know how you speak. Because if you don't want to stifle the other person's voice. You definitely want to, you don't want to steal their soul. You want to make sure you have a conversation where you both can talk. And they feel like it's a safe space that they can, speak back without anything come to them. I mean, it's tough to talk if you think it's the uppercut or will kick gonna come.
You said what's gonna come?
I said it's tough to talk to somebody if you think the uppercut or will kick is gonna follow.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true.
Yes.
I would just say don't try not to be addicted to toxicity because that goes if you have the addictive spirit like to drama, toxicity, it just flows in other parts of your life. And then it can go upside down or different ways you didn't see coming. So I would say try to communicate and compromise. And like you said, Daryl, the therapy, that's good. It can give you some other ways to cope with how to handle things without being drawn to that or wanting to stay in that.
One last thing. Sometimes we don't know what a good relationship is or how to deal with it, or if we're a toxic person. We don't know. If your relationship looks anything like Love and Hip Hop, any of the shows, you got a problem. I'm giving you a reference point. I'm giving you a reference point. If you see anything in you in them shows, get help now.
Plain and simple, right?
That's it. If you don't know, you can't say you don't know now. You're giving a tip. Drinks on people and you fighting and you doing all this,
And invest in yourself if necessary. Like you invest in sneakers and bags and vacations, invest in yourself to become well.
Yes.
Invest in yourself.
Yes. Therapy is not a luxury.
It's not.
Oh, I heard that.
It's not. But some people think it's a whole Gucci bag.
Of course.
Right.
Yes. But they go get the Gucci bag.
Gucci bag therapy. Gucci bag. Gucci bag.
I'm gonna look good on the outside with this Gucci bag.
Yeah.
I might be all dressed up inside,
from the
but I'm gonna look good on the outside.
Right.
Gucci.
And drop that $700-800 on that bag and be walking around hungry.
Ain't got no food in the refrigerator.
Emotionally hungry and physically hungry.
Lights is off. You don't come home to a dark house because you got a Gucci bag.
You got an Hermes bag and rotten scepter. I've seen that too.
Wow.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Wait, what bag you saw in Ryan something?
She said Hermes.
Oh, wow.
So you trying to get robbed. You want to get knocked in the head, huh?
I mean,
that just don't even go right.
Look, thank God for Uber, huh? Some people hide in the Uber.
The Uber driver, hey, let me get that.
Right.
Leave that on the seat.
All right. Doc, you got anything else? All right, party people. Well, we thank you for joining us on another Friday Sip and Chat. And we shall see you next week. See you in the group. And with the shenanigans or conversations that may happen. And if you're not in the group, Daryl, what you say?
Get in the group.
Most best.
Well said. Thank you, Ruth. All right. In the meanwhile, everybody stay well and stay safe.
Yes. Good night.
Good night. Come on, Mouse.